Hello friends, let's have a look at a sentence and there is a blank space. Let's try and fill the blank space choosing the correct options. Okay, I have been to Delhi 5 times. Which of these four options is correct? There could be one or more options, okay, which we can use to fill the blank space. I have been to Delhi 5 times for 2 months. Is it correct? No. Since September. I have been to Delhi 5 times since September. Yes, it's a correct option. I have been to Delhi 5 times for the last 2 months. No, it's not a correct one. We cannot use for the last 2 months. But I have been to Delhi 5 times in the last 2 months. So the option second and the fourth are the correct ones we can choose to fill the blank space. कहने का मतलब I have been to Delhi 5 times. मैं 5 बार दिल्ली जा चुका हूँ. Since September, सितंबर से मीन्स सितंबर से लेकर अब तक मैं 5 बार. सही है. In the last 2 months मैं पिछले 2 महीने में 5 बार दिल्ली जा चुका हूँ. ये भी सेंटेंस सही है, लेकिन for 2 months and for the last 2 months cannot be used here, क्योंकि for 2 months और for the last 2 months का मतलब है कोई काम पिछले 2 महीने से लगातार चल रहा है अब तक. ओके, तो इसलिए यहाँ पर दिल्ली का जाना जो है लगातार तो नहीं हो रहा है, उस पीरियड के दौरान 5 ही बार हुआ है. इसलिए यहाँ पर सिंस सितंबर और इन द लास्ट 2 months ही करेक्ट ऑप्शंस होंगे. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन दीज टू सेंटेंसेस. I have been in Delhi for 5 years and I have been in Delhi for the last 5 years. I have been in Delhi for 5 years means I lived in Delhi for 5 years in the past and I know about Delhi. I know the people of Delhi. Means I have 5 years experience of living in Delhi. It does not mean that I started living in Delhi 5 years ago and I'm still living. But the second sentence, I have been in Delhi for the last 5 years, means I started living in Delhi 5 years ago and I am still living in Delhi. I am still in Delhi. Now let's understand the difference between been to and been in. Been to Delhi and been in Delhi. Been to Delhi means to go to Delhi and come back. And been in Delhi means to be present in Delhi, to exist in Delhi, okay, to be there. Being in Delhi is almost equal to live in Delhi. Let's see this pair of examples. I have worked with her for 5 years means I worked with her for 5 years. It means I did this in the recent past and it has some link to the present. It means I worked with her for 5 years in the recent past. And what is the connection with the present? The connection is that I know her well. I know how she talks. I know how she behaves. I know everything about her. But the second sentence, I have worked with her for the last 5 years, means I started working with her 5 years ago and I'm still working with her. But now you might be thinking that the present perfect tense, I have worked with her, in the first sentence talks about a finished action. That action happened in the past. But the present perfect tense, same present perfect tense, I have worked with her, in the second sentence talks about a continuous action that started in the past and still continues. This is because of the phrase for the last 5 years. It means the time period that started 5 years ago and continued up to the moment. That's why this present perfect tense here in the second sentence talks about a continuous action that started 5 years ago and is still in progress at this present moment. One more thing I want to tell, that the second sentence, I have worked with her for the last 5 years, can be written as I have been working with her for the last 5 years. These two sentences mean the same. Means there are few verbs which we can use in the present perfect and in the present perfect progressive for the same meaning. And the verbs are work, live, play, study, and teach. Now you can see in the third sentence, I have been working with her for the last few years. The last has been put in bracket because that is optional. For 5 years and for the last 5 years, both these phrases mean the same when used in the present perfect continuous tense. But for 5 years and for the last 5 years in the present perfect tense are sometimes used for different meanings and sometimes they can be used for the same meaning. Now let's see this pair of sentences. I have known her for 5 years and I have been knowing her for 5 years. Let me tell you, the second sentence is incorrect because stative verbs like know, love, hate, understand, forget or other mental verbs cannot be used in progressive tenses. So the second sentence is incorrect because knowing is a stative verb. Know is a stative verb and it cannot be used in progressive tenses. So for the meaning of the second sentence, we should use the first sentence, means instead of using the present perfect progressive, we should use the present perfect tense. I have known her for 5 years. मैं उसे 5 साल से जानता हूँ. Means I first met her 5 years ago and since then, okay, I have known her. तब से मैं उसे जानता हूँ. कहने का मतलब ये है कि स्टेटिव वर्ब्स का यूज़ अगर हमें प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट प्रोग्रेसिव टेंस में करना है तो उस मीनिंग के लिए हमें प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट टेंस में ही करना चाहिए, लेकिन वहाँ पर सिंस और फार का यूज़ करते हैं. ओके, और वही मतलब देता है जो कि प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट प्रोग्रेसिव में उसका मतलब होना चाहिए था. ध्यान रहे कि हमने बताया अभी कि फॉर 5 ईयर्स एंड फॉर द लास्ट 5 ईयर्स ये परफेक्ट टेंस में डिफरेंट मीनिंग दे सकते हैं, पर जब स्टेटिव वर्ब्स का यूज़ करते हैं तब फॉर 5 ईयर्स एंड फॉर द लास्ट 5 ईयर्स ये दोनों सेम मीनिंग देते हैं, इनमें कोई अंतर नहीं है. कहने का मतलब आई हैव नोन हर फॉर 5 ईयर्स या फिर आई हैव नोन हर फॉर द लास्ट 5 ईयर्स, बोथ दीज फ्रेजेस मीन द सेम. यहाँ पर हमने 5 लिया है एग्जाम्पल के लिए. आप यहाँ पर 1 2 3 4 few, many कोई भी नंबर्स रख सकते हैं. Let's see one more pair of sentences. I have been playing for 2 hours and I have been playing for the last 2 hours. Both these sentences mean the same. The only difference is in the structure for 2 hours and for the last 2 hours. As I already told you that for 2 hours and for the last 2 hours when used in the present perfect progressive tense mean the same thing. The reason for this is that the present perfect progressive means something started in the past and still continues. That's why the two phrases for 2 hours and for the last 2 hours are not able to give different meanings despite the fact that they are used usually for different meanings. कहने का मतलब for 2 hours and for the last 2 hours present perfect progressive tense में same meaning देते हैं, क्योंकि ये प्रेजेंट परफेक्ट प्रोग्रेसिव की एक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक होती है कि वह पिछले पास्ट में कोई काम शुरू हुआ और अब तक चल रहा है, और इसीलिए ये चाहकर भी अलग मीनिंग नहीं दे पाते दोनों, फॉर 2 आवर्स एंड फॉर द लास्ट 2 आवर्स. एंड इफ़ यू थिंक द वीडियो वॉज यूजफुल फॉर यू, प्लीज़ लाइक एंड शेयर इट. If you are on the channel for the first time, please subscribe to get notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching.